Dahet, one can eradicate doshan, contaminations, dharanabihi, by concentrating the mind, cha, and kilbishan, sinful activities, pratyaharena, by restraining the senses, samasragan, material association, dhyanena, by meditating, anishwaran gunan, the modes of material nature. Translation and purport given by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. By practicing the process of pranayama, one can eradicate the contamination of the psychological condition, and by concentrating the mind, one can become free from all sinful activities. By restraining the senses, one can free himself from material association. And by meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one can become free from the three modes of material attachment. According to Ayurvedic medical science, the three items, Kapha, Pitta, Vayu, phlegm, bile, air, maintained by psychological condition of the body. Modern medical science does not accept psychological analysis as valid. But the ancient Ayurvedic process of treatment is based upon these items. Ayurvedic treatment concerns itself with the cause of these three elements, which are mentioned in many places in Bhagavatam as the basic conditions of the body. Here it is recommended that by practicing breathing process of pranayama, one can release from contamination created by the principal psychological elements. By concentrating the mind, one can become free from sinful activities. And by withdrawing the senses, one can free himself from material association. Ultimately, one has to meditate the Supreme Personality of Godhead in order to be elevated to the transcendental position, where he is no longer affected by the three modes of material nature. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that one who engages himself in an unalloyed devotional service at once becomes transcendental to the three modes of material nature and immediately realizes his identification with Brahman. Sagunan samatityan Brahma bhuyaya kalpate. For every item in the yoga system, there is a parallel activity in Bhakti Yoga. But the practice of Bhakti Yoga is easier for this age. What was introduced by Lord Chaitanya, it is not a new interpretation. Bhakti Yoga is a feasible process that begins with chanting and hearing. Bhakti Yoga and other yogis have as their ultimate goal the same personality of Godhead. But one is practical and others are difficult. One has to purify his psychological condition by concentrating and restrain of the senses. Then he can fix his mind upon the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is called Samadhi. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshur Anmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, Kapila is explaining how to practice devotional service to his mother Devahuti. Here, up to now, we learned many things. Here, this sloka is kind of conclusion between from the first sloka to 10th sloka. Here it is telling that four main aspects: pranayama, dharana, pratyahara, dhyana. How these four will help us to progress in devotional service. We'll go one by one. The first one, pranayamair deha doshan. So pranayama will destroy the doshas in our body. What is pranayama? Pranayama is like a breathing exercise, controlling the breath, like puraka, kumbhaka, rechika, like inhaling, exhaling, holding the breath, all these things comes under pranayama. What it will do? Pranayama will control three doshas. What is it? As per Ayurveda, it is mentioned that Kapha, Pitta, Vata or Vayu, which are the defined for the psychological condition. What it will do? It will balance this Kapha, Pitta, Vata, this pranayama. Our body is made up of with the 5 material elements. Out of 3, here it is mentioned. Vata. Vata means which is air. This air will be Vata or Vayu. It is characterized by the air or wind. Pitta. Pitta means fire. So, and Kapha. Kapha means water. If these 3 are balanced, or their energies are in the balance in our body, we will be healthy. And our mind will be focused. All doshas will be removed. How these 3 will go out of balance, or how to bring it into the balance? As per the body nature, or as per our eating habits, these 3 go imbalance. As per the Ayurveda, by holding your hand, by holding the nerve, they can tell which dosha is high and what are the problems you are facing. You don't need to tell what is your problem. If you go this modern medicine, you need to go and tell the doctor, oh, I have back pain, I have stomach pain, or I have indigestion, I have a sleeping problem, all these things. But in Ayurveda, you don't need to tell your problem. Just you go and give your hand, and he will read your pulse, and he will analyze the Kapha, Pitta, Vata and other elements, and he will tell, you are suffering these problems, and you need to take so and so. Suppose if Pitta, the fire energy, is low in your body, that person will face indigestion. So to digest something, we need to have a fire energy in the body. If you do not have enough fire, whatever the food that we eat, it will not digest. So what Ayurvedic doctor will suggest, eat spicy foods, like ginger, dry ginger, and all the spices. So that fire will be increased and your digestion will be increased. Like that, if pitta is low, there will be some symptoms, indigestion issues or bodily pain issues, all those things. If you correct one dosha, automatically all the problems related to that dosha will be removed. You no need to take multiple medication. But whereas in the modern medicine, suppose if you go for three problems, I have indigestion, I have back pain, I have dizziness, or I am depressed. If you give all your symptoms, he will give one or two medicines for each symptom, which will cause another new symptom, because this modern medication has a lot of side effects. Whatever the medicine you take, it will have some other side effect. But whereas in Ayurveda, naturally you can cure all the doshas in your body. Naturally, because in Ayurveda, they will give all the herbs, all the foods, what you need to take. They don't give any chemicals. They will give only natural herbs or natural juices or natural leaves, all the stuff. So which will not cause any side effect. So what will happen if you are doing this pranayama? Your three doshas, kapha, pitta, vata, will be balanced. And then from there you can focus. The next point, it is mentioned, dharanabhischa kilbisham. What does that mean? Kilbisham means sinful activities. Dharana. Dharana is also another type of meditation. You will fix your mind, various chakras. This body has 6 various chakras, 6 types of chakras. And you can focus on particular chakra, and that chakra will be energized, and the problems associated that chakra will be removed. And what will happen? The sinful activities will be removed. Why a person will do sinful activities? He will do sinful activities, number one, lack of knowledge, avidya. He don't know what is good and what is bad. Number two, uncontrolled senses. So if a person has a knowledge and he is able to control his senses, he will not commit any sinful activities. So in parallel, in our Bhakti Yoga process, we are restricted to 4 regulative principles. These 4 regulative principles will remove the gross, the highest sinful activities a person can do in day-to-day life. No meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, no illicit sex. These 4 are the gross or the highest sinful activities one can do. And if you practice Bhakti Yoga, or if you have Vidya, knowledge, then automatically you can destroy the sins. The sins can be destroyed either by following dharana, by focusing your energies on various chakras and control your senses, or have the knowledge and practice the Bhakti Yoga. Automatically you will achieve pure life. Number 3, pratyahara. What is pratyahara? The third line in the sloka, it is telling that pratyaharena samasragan. What it will do? Pratyahara, it will freeze from the material association of the sense objects. So, what is the problem? If you are engaging more in your senses or sense gratificationary activities, you will forget the main goal of life. So this pratyahara, we can withdraw our senses from uncontrolled activities. We have an example. How can you withdraw your senses? There is an example, tortoise example. In the tortoise, if it is going on the way, and if tortoise found any danger, immediately it will withdraw all the legs and hands into the shell. So even somebody step on the shell, nothing will happen to the tortoise, because tortoise shell is very heavy. So similarly, a person who is able to control his mind, he can easily withdraw his senses with material association. What is material association means? What is withdrawing senses means? Withdrawing senses means we have 5 senses: eyes, nose, ears, tongue, and skin. So with the association of these material modes, eyes will attract some bad things, like some bad movies or some bad scenes or some bad situations. Then with your knowledge, you should withdraw your senses from that place. You need to close that, or you need to come out of that place. Similarly, hearing some gossiping or some prajalpa or some Vaisnava Parada talks or some mundane talks. So we should withdraw. Similarly, nose, tongue, and all our bodily objects. This body is defined as Navadware Pure, meaning 9-gated city. So this body has 9 holes. Whatever it goes through these 9 holes, it will work inside and it will make you act like that. So you need to guard these 9 holes, not to enter any bad elements into the body. Just like a 9-gated city, there will be 9 guards who are protecting the city. They will check whether this person is correct or this object is correct. Then only they will let you go inside to the city. Similarly, before we act anything or before we accept anything through 3 9 holes, eyes, nose, tongue, all these holes, you need to think a moment whether it is a favorable for my Krishna consciousness or not favorable for my Krishna consciousness. If those things are favorable, accept. If those things are not favorable, reject it. That is pratyahara. So we need to filter out what need to be accepted and what should be rejected by using our jnana, our vidya. Vidya, how it will come? By association. By association of the devotees, by association of the Vedic scriptures. Yeah, so we need to develop that pratyahara. And dhyana. Dhyanani Vishwaran Gunan. What Dhanya will do? Freeze from the modes. It will freeze from the 3 modes. Dhyana. What is dhyana means? Dhyana means meditating on the limbs of the Supreme Lord or Vaikuntha Leelas. Lord performed so many Leelas. Srimad Bhagavatam is completely about the Lord's Leelas. So we need to either meditate on the Lord's Leela or meditate on the limbs of the body of the Supreme Lord. So there are so many poets or so many devotees or so many acharyas write so many literature about each part of the bodily limbs of the Lord. There is one Acharya, Vedanta Deshikar. he is in parallel with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He wrote 1000 slokas just to glorify the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. Just to glorify the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, 1000 slokas. You can imagine how much dhyana he might have. Similarly, we need to develop the taste or develop the attraction to glorify the Supreme Lord and his bodily parts and his leelas. And also, in 9 process of devotional service, Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. This is also, Vishnu Smaranam is also a type of dhyana. We are remembering the Supreme Lord. So, usually, the mundane people will do dhyana on their job or on their political activities or on the social problems or some material relations, all these things. Their dhyana will be on them. And the devotee's dhyana will be on the Supreme Lord and on the leelas of the Lord. We are approaching Gaura Purnima in next few days on 24th Sunday. So, if you meditate on Gaura Leela or any Leela, automatically our mind will be absorbed in the consciousness of the Supreme Lord. So, we need to minimize this material dhyana and increase this Supreme Lord's dhyana. Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj says that this mind has 2 dogs. Whatever you feed, one dog is this material activities, one dog is bhakti activities or spiritual activities. Whichever the dog you feed more, the dog will become stronger and it will bark more and it will take the control over that place. So similarly, we need to think to which dog I need to feed more, either the spiritual bhakti or the materialistic activities. Of course, we are in this materialistic world. We need to deal certain activities to perform our livelihood activities, but we should minimize as much as possible and focus more on the bhakti activities. Automatically, your dhyana will be turned towards the Supreme Lord. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakura. Bhaktivinoda Thakura is in a big highest position. The spiritual, materially also is highest position. He is a judge. So he used to finish his work in 4 hours and he spent rest of his time in Vedic literature and preaching and all his bhakti activities. Similarly, we need to try to reduce dhyana on the materialistic activities and increase the spiritual activities. So, what these 4 will do? Pranayabhir, pranayama, dharana, pratyahara, and dhyana. What these 4 will do? These 4 will make us fit to the devotional service and able to help us to more focus on the Supreme Lord. So next few slokas are talking about dhyana, how to meditate on the various limbs of the Supreme Lord. So before you go there, this Kapila Deva is helping us to purify our body, our mind, and our focus, where you need to focus. So then automatically dhyana will be increased. here Srila Prabhupada, in the comment, he writes that in this age of Kali, these may not be possible. Kritaye dhyayato Vishnu. In Krita Yoga, this dhyana is prescribed, this meditation is prescribed, because they used to live 100,000 years. Valmiki Maharshi did 60,000 years of meditation. So, but in Kali Yuga, we are short-lived. We cannot do so much rigorously all these things. So, what is the prescribed method in Kali Yuga is Kalau tad Hari Kirtanad. Krataye dhyayato Vishnu. Tretayam yajito makai. Dvapare paricharyam. Kalau tad Hari Kirtanad. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the successive acharyas gave a very practical approach which we can do and increase our devotional service in a super fast way. What is that? By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So we are seeing how it is working, this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. People are able to focus the mind. People are able to progress in their all this pratyahara, dhyana, and all these things. We are seeing Haridas Thakura. Haridas Thakura was chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, 192 malas of Hare Krishna Mahamantra, almost 300,000 of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, even though when he was faced a test with a prostitute, he was able to control his mind. He did not get distracted. But whereas, if you take another yoga practitioners like Bhrigu Muni, Vishwamitra, all these great yoga practitioners, they are practicing Ashtanga yoga and other various things. When the situations comes, they were not able to control their mind. They can easily attracted by the woman beauty and they fall into their trap. So Bhakti Yoga is proven. So we don't need to go that long back. Even here also, we are all experiencing so many drug addiction people and so many vulnerable conditioned people also. By practicing this Hari Kirtana, they were able to increase their devotional service and they were able to achieve all these things. Pratyahara, pranayama, and dharana. So, for this age is prescribed Hari Kirtana, chant Hare Krishna more and more and be controlled. We can automatically be controlled and will lead happy, blissful life. Over to Madhupati Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Madhupati Prabhuji. Okay. So today is Ekadasi. Minimally fasting from beans and grains and increase our devotional service. Harivasara. So that means Upavasa. Upa means stay near to the Lord. Vasa means staying. So increase our devotional service and try to do fasting as much as possible, minimally beans and grains. And we have a big festivities coming up on 24th Sunday, Gaur Purnima. Be ready with the Gauranga Mahaprabhu meditations. We wish you a very happy Krishna conscious day ahead for all of us, for all of our protection. Let's chant Lord Narasimha prayers, Ugram Veeram Mahavishnu 3 times and then wind up the course. Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Dvalantam Sarvata Bhishanam Bhadram Mrutyur Ugram Veeram Mahavishnum Narasimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrutyur Ugram idam Vishnum Kalantam Sarvatomukham Narasimham Mukhyam. So, Vaishnava Pranam, Vancha Kalpatarobhya
Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhavecha
Patitanam Pavane
Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah.
Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Very, very happy Krishna conscious day ahead. Thank you very much for joining today's class. Hare Krishna.
Same to you,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you.
Everybody. Hari Bol. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Pranam. Thank you, Prabhuji. Dandavat pranam.
Pranam. Hare Krishna.